Want to do a quick video on props.cash. They've changed their trends page, which I think would make it a lot easier for us to do research on our props. It's already easy to do research for props on props.cash, but by them changing the trends page, it even makes it more easier for us to see which players we want to attack. So when you launch props.cash, you get this page, and I'm looking to desktop only right now. Some of these features are on the app, some are on the desktop. I'll do a video for the app later, but this is for the desktop. I think the desktop is the best way to do your research for props.cash. When you launch props.cash, you get this screen. And if you have an account, just go ahead and click on Start Researching down here. It will bring it up. And as you can see, if you've used this product before, you can see the differences. For example, we have a projection. This is looking at points right now. So you have a projection, differential, have a streak. This is new. And over here to the right, where you got season, last 20, last 10, last 5, all these are new on the desktop version for props.cash. So just by looking at the first player here, we're looking at Buddy Hield. He has a line of 16.5, projection of 17.42, which is a differential of 0.92. You can see the spread over here. Books is -120. Playing against Philadelphia, who has the second best defense in the league. Red is bad for the player, green is good for the player. He has a streak of 4 of exceeding his point projection prop. He's done it 66% of the time during the season, 70% in the last 20 games, 70% in the last 10 games, 80% last 5, and 60% against the opponent. So that's a lot of good information. One of the main things I like about this is you can order them by point differential. So when I click on point differential here, you can see the highest point differential for the night is Siakam for Toronto. They're playing Milwaukee, a decent defense, but he has a 8-point differential from the line, and what props.cash think the projection is. As you can see, he's hit that 48, 50, 70, 60 respectively, and against the opponent 67% of the time. So I can tell you right now, I like the projection differential. I like that, searching on that. I can tell you that, also, I think it's good to find some unders. Us as sports bettors and PrizePicks and the books know we like to bet the over on props. It's just what we like to do. We like to bet the over. But I think you can find some sneaky unders here also. So all these lines would not be available on PrizePicks, which is my main tool that I like to use for betting on sports. But you can go out on the books and really, really find some potential locks, if you're willing to do the research. So this is just a starting point. I don't think too much has changed. Let's look at go and look at the player. I don't think too much has changed here on the player page. Pretty much everything here was already here on the players page. But that trends page is to me is a pretty big game changer. So we can look at the other categories. Rebound, assist. Same thing as just for assist. Again, Mason Plumlee, 2.5 assists, has been almost a lock this year. See, he's projected to go under that tonight. He's only projected 2.29 assists against a Memphis defense who is not that great. You see the numbers are pretty good. Streak of 2. So let's see what that streak of 2 really means. Let's go back. Let's look at Mason Plumlee's page. He's went over 2.5 in the last 2 games. So again, streak of 2 means over. Just looking at this from this, I would say Mason Plumlee will probably go over the 2.5 assists tonight. I would say the projection is wrong. So you got to do additional research. You got to see that you got to factor in the team defense and all that. Let's look at the rebounds. Rebounds also. Let's look at the projection differential here. Thomas Bryant has the highest for rebounds so far at this time of the day. Line is 8.5. Projection is 10.9. As you can see, he's hit that 60% of the time in his last 10 games and last 5 games. The season only 35% of the time. Got to take all that into consideration against a Miami defense that's kind of middle of the road. Got to take all of that into consideration. But this is a great place to start your research. Great place to start your research. And again, I think you can find some sneaky unders here that may not be available on PrizePicks, but they're available at the books. You can go out to the books and play these guys. Let's look at the other categories. Same thing's going to apply for points and assists. The only thing I don't like about the points and assists and points and rebounds and points, rebounds, and assists, it doesn't give us the defensive rank. We got to go back to another page and get that for the team. But all this information is here. It's a great new feature for props.cash. Let's look at everything here. Let's go to 3-pointers made. This is one of my favorite categories to wager on. It's 3-pointers made. And my wagering on this category is basically based on streaks and just how the player has performed recently. So here, like OG Anunoby for Toronto, projection 1.5 3-pointers. Projection of 2.18. The line is 1.5. Playing against a decent Milwaukee defense. But as you can see, over the last 20 games, 55% of the time he's hit at least 2 3-pointers. Last 10, 70% of the time. Last 5, 100% of the time. Against the opponent, 100% of the time. He's on a streak of 5 games of over 1.5 3-pointers. We know Buddy Hield is hot right now. Buddy Hield is on a streak of 6. Now, you're going to have to factor in the Philly defense. If we go to Buddy Hield, look at the 3-point defense played by Philly. They're one of the best in the league. 3 points allowed, number 1. They're number 1 against 3-point percentage allowed. 3-pointers allowed, they're number 3. So you got to factor that in because 3.5 3-pointers is a lot to cover. So you got to factor that in. I would stay away from Buddy Hield tonight if I was betting on Buddy Hield. But these are all new features. I think props.cash is one of the best tools in the business when you need to get some quick, accurate analysis on player props. Again, I love the point differential. I love the new projection screen, and I love that you can search on these guys. You can order them on point differential and projections. Like I say, I think it's a good way to find some sneaky unders. Here go Klay Thompson for tonight. The line is 25.5. His projection is 19.37, playing against a bad Detroit defense. But Klay, for the season, 27% of the time, he's only went over 25.5. Last 20, 35% of the time. Last 10, 40. Now, he is playing good in his last 5, 60% of the time. He has a streak of 3 where he's went over 25.5 points. Is that going to continue tonight? Is Klay going to hold up tonight? Let's look at Klay Thompson more closely. Playing a bad defense. He had 54 points in his last game. Is that going to continue? Let's look at the one-day rest. That's what you got to factor in here. One-day rest, Klay has only done it 20% of the time. I'm factoring that in. So those are things you got to factor in. I think he's in home. Let's look at home. one-day rest. He's only done it 20% of the time. So those are things you have to factor in. Is playing a real bad defense tonight. So, but you're going to have to do additional research and come up with an educated decision on what you feel. So we're looking for, like anytime we're looking for a player that has the biggest advantage where we think they're going to go over or under the prop. This is a great place to start. Go ahead and look at props.cash. You can get a discount on it. That's down in the description. My code is WiseGuyBets. Pretty cheap per month. I think it's only $19 a month, and you get a percentage off of that when you use the code WiseGuyBets. So that's all I have for today. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Both of those things would be greatly appreciated. Until the next video, peace.